Now, we have already made an everything you need to know about F1 22 video before. In fact, you can watch it up here right now. But we've got some more information that we can tell you now, so let's jump into the video. So F1 22 is just a couple of months away, and with all the new information that we've got today, we can now give you a new video on everything we know so far about F1 22. So first of all, let's take a look at the cars. Now, there is going to be a standalone video for this. Keep an eye on the channel, it's going to be a good one. But what we can tell you for now is that whilst we were playing a preview version of the game and not everything is final, the new cars for this year are heavier than the previous generation. Minimum weight has gone up by 43 kilograms over 2021, with teams struggling to hit that mark and coming in overweight. There are plenty of reasons for this, with the bigger wheels and tyres making a huge difference. Now, this weight difference really makes the cars feel heavier as you drive. It's not that you are wrestling to get them into the corners, but that they are less responsive at slow speed once in the corners. The tracks on offer in the preview build, these were Imola, Miami, Silverstone, Red Bull Ring and Circuit the Americas, were not the best to test this, but it feels like the slower speed sections and tracks will be trickier to navigate in F1 22. The tricky technical bits of Miami are a perfect example of just how cumbersome these new cars are. You really can't just throw the car over the curbs. Likewise, there's also no porpoising yet. Now, this is something you will have seen frequently, especially from the Mercedes in real life. But with VR being added for PC, we're quite thankful that we're not seeing it in the game. And finally, for the cars, we're also getting new setups. Now, this is mainly going to show in the aerodynamics section, where instead of being a 1 to 11 slider like it used to be for the front and rear wing aero, the slider is now 1 to 50. There is plenty of room for adjustment to nail down that perfect setup that you want for each track. What about career mode? Well, with such a refined and successful mode, Codemasters has a tough time keeping career mode feeling fresh. Last year we got a reworked R&D system, obscuring the development paths where before there was a clear tree to build through. So what's coming this year? Well, with focus on a new generation of F1 cars like we just mentioned, F1 Life, and even the upcoming inclusion of crossplay, yes that is right, crossplay is coming post-launch, it feels like career mode is not quite a priority this year. Practice programs. Now, practice is a huge part of a race weekend, and now career mode will be making use of that time. A new augmented reality AR element will be projected onto the track surface to help players at every skill level find time and consistency at the circuit. This will be a welcome addition, as the new generation of cars means that braking points and entry angles could well be a little different in F1 22. A new AI system, Adaptive AI, is also coming for F1 22 career mode. This will aid accessibility to the game and potentially a new layer of intensity to races. It allows the AI to race closer with the player, encouraging wheel-to-wheel action through the race. It will slow down or speed up the AI to the right level for the driver and provide them with the opportunity to make overtakes, defend their position, and not just end up lapping the circuit by themselves. After more than 10 years of the same voice in our ear, the trusty race engineer Jeff is hanging up his headset. Jeff is being replaced by Mark Priestley, aka F1 Elvis. Mark is a former race engineer for McLaren and recorded all his lines for the game on a real F1 headset, improving the level of authenticity when you are racing. We've also got a broadcast refresh. Immersion is a key part of F1's career mode, and Codemasters has taken things up a notch this year. The pre-race presentation has been brought more in line with what you'll be familiar with on a race weekend, while there are new podium celebrations and scenes, as well as more realistic Parc Fermé interactions after the race. And finally, race day has been truly refined. For those looking to take things up another notch, there are two methods for getting a sense of realism into the game. The first is the ability to choose how you line up in your grid slot. If you select Immersive Formation Lap, you can drive all the way into your box and choose where to point your car. Will you go defensive and point to defend from the car next to you, or get aggressive with forcing your way to the racing line for turn 1? This immersion carries over into your pit stops too. Now you can turn into your pit box, turn too late or early, and the stop will take longer. Get it just right and your crew can execute the stop with the utmost precision. Now don't worry, you can choose not to interact with these new features and continue to do formation laps and pit stops like in F1 2021, but the choice is now there for players. There is also a choice with the safety car. You can now opt for a broadcast style safety car experience, which takes you out of the car and will speed up the process of the safety car so you don't have to spend time driving around behind it. What about my team? Now, My Team has been a storming success since its introduction in F1 2020. The mode places players in the dual role of team boss and driver of an 11th F1 team. In such a role, not only are players tasked with doing the driving and plotting the R&D like in career mode, but they have to sign sponsors, invest in departments, and design the team livery. There are several specific My Team upgrades, as well as ones that cover the general in-race experience in career mode too. Now, the ones that are specific to My Team, let's take a look at those. Entry status. For the last 2 years, players have been able to join the F1 grid with a car that was about level in performance with the worst team on the grid. That's nice given that usually new teams start way off the pace of everyone and have to play catch up. This year, players are given the choice of 3 different entry statuses for their team. These are Newcomer, Midfield Challenger and Title Contender. This will represent the finances and facilities that you start with. The Newcomer will be around the same position as players are used to, while the Midfield Challengers will start a bit better off, and Title Contenders will be able to hire top drivers and expand facilities quickly. We're also getting expanded department events. The department events arrived in F1 2021 as moments in time where players had to make a choice, be that investing in their aero over their chassis or how to deal with a particular staff issue. They were a good addition, but a bit shallow. In F1 22 they will matter much more. These new department events can balance short-term game over long-term sustainability, or performing quick fixes that then require more investment over the long run rather than getting a problem addressed appropriately where you take a short hit but save money down the road. Customization. The Formula 1 games are not known for their expansive customization suites, and there are several reasons for this that lie outside of Codemasters' control. However, for F1 22 there are a few quality of life changes coming to the game. You'll finally be able to copy a colour from one screen to the next, saving the need to note down your codes manually. There are also paint finishes coming into the livery creator. Players can pick between gloss, satin, matte or metallic finishes for their cars. While this is still fairly basic in the grand scheme of racing games, given the limitations Codemasters is working under, it's a really nice addition to make. And finally, what about F1 Life and Supercars? Well, we had an exclusive interview with Senior Creative Director Lee Mather, and as he explained, F1 Life is a new location in F1 22 where players can stamp their own customization and flavour onto the front end of the game. It allows players to show off their supercar collection, yes, supercars, as well as driver clothing and cosmetic items. F1 Live also lets players display trophies in a virtual trophy cabinet, showcasing their racing achievements to envious friends. F1 Live is the location for multiplayer lobbies, meaning you can visit your friend's F1 Live space and see how their character is dressed. Not only can you customize your driver's racing suit, gloves, helmet and car, but you can also change your character's appearance during downtime between races. A screenshot showed a player's driver dressed in a casual t-shirt and jeans. Codemasters and EA is working with clothing brands to bring apparel such as t-shirts, trainers, joggers, sunglasses and caps into the game. Clothing items can be unlocked via Podium Pass, but Codemasters and EA didn't confirm if they can be bought with microtransactions. This level of customization also extends to your space too. In F1 Life, you can personalise your living space with decorative items from the in-game brand shop store, from wall coverings to furniture and flooring. It all adds a level of personalisation not seen in an F1 game before, and looks like a cross between The Sims and PlayStation Home, Sony's forgotten social platform with customisable avatars and spaces that launched on the PS3. So, we mentioned it, Supercars debut in F1 22. Not only can you show off your swanky supercar collection to your friends, but you can also drive them in the Pirelli Hot Laps mode available in Career and My Team. Supercars from the likes of Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin may sound out of place in an F1 game, but Mather explained that this new mode is inspired by F1's real-life Pirelli Hot Laps program. This sees F1 drivers take celebrities and journalists around the track in supercars at high speed, showcasing their driving skills and scaring their passengers senseless. In F1 22, you can jump into supercars between races and test your skills in autocross, drift, average speed zone and rival duel challenges, as well as time attack, checkpoint challenge and pursuit modes. Supercars are also available in time trial mode. As expected, only supercars from F1 team manufacturers will feature in F1 22. Confirmed manufacturers in F1 22 are Ferrari, Mercedes-AMG, Aston Martin and McLaren, pitting F1 22 against Forza and Gran Turismo, sort of. Supercars are unlocked by completing challenges. Again, we're yet to see the supercars in full action, or see how they handle, but the Miami trailer, as you well know, showed a sneak peek of the McLaren 720S being put through its paces. So what about multiplayer? Now, we haven't seen a lot yet, other than the fact that, as we've already mentioned, F1 Life is going to be the multiplayer hub, and, excitingly, crossplay is coming post-launch. There is no real expected release date yet for this post-launch crossplay, but it is incredibly exciting to know that we definitely will be seeing it. We have no details just yet about rankings or leagues. However, when crossplay lands, we may see a complete shakeup of league racing. How exciting. And finally, of course, VR is coming for PC players in F1 22, and this is a first for the franchise. This means that those of you who are lucky enough to own either a HTC Vive headset or an Oculus Rift headset can now enjoy the glory of F1 22 in full native virtual reality. So that's everything that we now know about F1 22. What do you make of what you've seen so far, and are you excited to get playing in late June? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll catch you in another video here on the Racing Games channel very soon.